All right, taking a look at question 4 now on our worksheet. It says, how many ways can 4 red cards be drawn from a standard deck of 52 cards? Assume the cards are drawn sequentially and not replaced in the deck. So one thing that really can cue us into how to use, what technique to use for this one is this idea that the cards are drawn sequentially. We can really think about breaking this question down into different smaller quote-unquote events where we would have a first card, second card, third card, and fourth card. Right? If you think about in the end of the question, the types of things that we're trying to count is sequences of 4 different red cards. Now, using a deck of cards is a common type of question to use in this chapter just because it's a very standard type of thing that has different parts to it. I know that not everyone is as familiar with decks of cards, so on Canvas I've uploaded this little Word doc that just has kind of the breakdown written on it for you in case you're less familiar with it. So in a standard 52 card deck, there's a total of 52 cards, but then there's different types of cards that those 52 cards are made up of. So half of the deck is red and half of the deck is black. So that's 26 of each. So that's really what we're going to pay attention to in this question because we're asked about red cards specifically. Also, the cards are split into 4 suits. There's clubs and spades and hearts and diamonds. There's 13 cards in each of those suits. 2 of the suits are black and 2 of them are red, which is what makes up those 26 red cards and black cards. And then also amongst the deck, it's split into different types or denominations of cards, and there's 4 of each type. So there's 2 through 10s, so 4 of each of 2s, 3s, 4s through 10s, and then after 10s comes jacks, then queens, then kings, and then there's also aces. So there's just those different types of cards. So the key one that we're going to pay attention to right now is the fact that there are 26 red cards. So if I think about wanting this first card to be red, it shouldn't just be any card from the deck, it specifically should be a red card. And if we remember how many there were, there's only 26 options for that. So there are 26 options for getting a red card as my first card. Now for the second card, we can think about, well, how many options are there going to be there? Again, I want it to be a red card. But notice also that while I'm drawing them, I'm not replacing them in the deck. It's as if I'm leaving them out on the table. And so this second card, there's no way then that it's going to be the same card as the first card. It would have to be something different, right? I can't reuse that first card. So my pool has dropped from 26 down to 25. Similarly, the third card should also be red, right? All of these we want to be red. And then the fact that they're not replaced is why these numbers, the pool, the total number of options keeps going down. So now with the third card, we're down to only 24 options because it can't be either of the first 2. And then for the last one, we'd be down to only 23 options. And then, remember, we're doing multiple events. And so what we do is we multiply those together. That's what that sequential counting principle tells us to do. So multiplying those together, we've got 26 times 25 times 24 times 23, which is 358,800. 358,800. Lots of different ways to draw this. So So again, we had kind of this key word here that we were drawing the cards sequentially. In the future, we're going to learn other techniques for different ways that you could draw the cards. But in this one, that sequence really meant that the order of those cards was important. There was a difference between the first card and second card, for instance, because we're laying them kind of in a row on the table.